Oh shit. That's not a. John, how do we do the video? Oh, here. You click on video.
Yep.
Yeah. Dar. Okay. Now. Oh shit. No. That's not a. Okay. Well, so John, how do we do this? Start us. Oh, there.
So we'll come down and then we'll,
Dar.
so Illuminator and home base. Yes.
Okay.
Now, so,
No. That's not a. Okay. Well, so John, how do we do this?
One.
Oh, there.
So we'll come down and then we'll,
Hi.
so Illuminator and home base.
It's.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so,
That's not a. Okay. Well, so John, how do we do this?
One.
Oh, there.
so we'll come down and then we'll,
Position your face.
so Illuminator and home base.
I can't see your face. You see that camera?
Now, so,
That's not a.
one.
Right, so that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home base.
I can't see your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
that's not a. Yeah.
one.
Right, so that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home
So
base.
that's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
that's not a. Yeah.
one.
Right, so that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home
So
base.
that's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
that's not a. Yeah.
one.
Right, so that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home base.
That's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
yeah.
one.
Right, so that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home base.
That's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
yeah.
one.
So that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home base.
That's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
yeah.
one.
So that's a live stream. Show your face.
So Illuminator and home base.
That's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
so that's a live stream. Show your face.
so Illuminator and home base.
That's your face. You know, like,
And now, so,
so that's a live stream. Show your face.
so Illuminator and home base.
She should be good though. She's sharp and she was fell asleep.
Check, check. Oh, so another song, Russian song. So which one did I do? Do you remember which one I did?
No.
Okay.
It was cute.
Oh, I think I remember.
Cute song.
It was like, если только, если только по-русски. Yeah?
Yeah, that's not.
That one? Yeah.
What is that?
So it says, if only on the trail and the road you continue going, then possibly, most likely, it's a good song. It's a good song. You'll make it to Africa, and then Africa is where all the wonders are. And so like the meaning, it's all about and then but if you're like lazy, because this girl is going whatever, and then if you're like lazy and if you want to sit at home and don't be bored and complain, then then like you're not getting to Africa that way, so
I love
yeah.
that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then it's like in Africa there's like mountains is big and the water, the mountain, everything is. What's going on? Oh,
I just lost that computer power supply somewhere. Got an Alienware. What is that down at the moment? And this is not connecting all of a sudden. Turn it off and on again. If it will let me.
your event in
February. What do you wanna call it something, or do you want me just to say that
I think it's
your event in February without the name yet, right? And then I'll say that the website, we'll post the website on the link.
Yes, we'll just be like the event that's bringing up or something, you know, the Valentine's Day event.
Right, yeah, I just won't mention the name. And we won't mention.
I would like to talk about how what we do is we like to generally with days we like to reconstruct traditions, and we love to fall on holidays and or
With the production company.
correct,
Yeah, yeah.
and then as far as so that's kind of like the brand that we do is
Oh, so it's going to be a
recreating
home-based event.
it's own base in Illuminatra. We collaborate
Okay.
together.
Yeah.
And then
So why won't I just then say that home base and Illuminatra are like you guys are putting
maybe we can
an experience, right?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
festival of whatever.
maybe you can explain a little bit about home base and then a little bit about
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
and then the upcoming event.
Right, but I'll say that. So it doesn't really need its name because you can figure it out later, and then we can, you know, just talking about that I think will be good because maybe you can start what do you call it, Facebook group, and then just with the video because I can clip it and
Sure.
make it so that way you can just kind of you know, post it under the video,
Yeah.
right? Because it just can be like an invitation to
Yeah.
maybe contact you.
I-
But okay, so one of the things about the events, public events, like public events, have problems for people.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of say, so basically, I think that if you make it like everybody that goes needs to get approved. So like
Yeah.
a rando cannot buy a ticket. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And it's okay if eventually, because eventually, like somebody you don't know.
Tickets are part of a membership to a private organization.
Right. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is that a new person who is recommended by somebody can buy a ticket and attend, but it's not open to sale for public for just
Right.
whoever you are.
Correct.
Right, and the reason that's important is because with the current laws and everything else,
Yeah.
then it makes it to where we do not have restriction, right? Because at the ranch, for public event, it's up to 100 people. For private event, there are no restrictions.
Right. And I think
So you can have 5,000 people come in as long as it's in a private event, and then to demonstrate that it's a private event, you basically need to make sure that like before people buy a ticket, there is an approval. But if you start processing, if 5,000 people want to buy it and you need to verify, it's fine. You'll be fine. Because that's a lot of money, you know. Yeah. I don't think it will.
not
5,000 people
we didn't have a
ain't
huge
showing up.
headliner for that.
Maybe, you don't know that. So we don't know. There's going to be a certain point of time when, because people are ready and it's just when that veil of fear is elevated from them.
There will be a time when 5,000 people are paying to see Base.
Right, yeah.
That time is as soon as we decide to allow it to enter into our time space.
Or whatever, right? Like we don't know when it is. It could be next month, it could be in a year, it could be in 5, like who knows what time it is, like it's.
Time is an illusion. It's
Right,
it's
right.
a multiverse, so it's
Yeah.
just a
Our
matter
goal
of
is to
shifting
share
into the
the
proper
business.
world.
Right, did it share, and so then basically what I'm saying is that then legally we can, because then we can advertise it publicly, but it's a private event. So then you get the benefit of people saying, well, I wanna go to this event too. And then, they can contact you and message you and stuff, and so, okay. Anyway, so we'll start, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go! Lotus,
Hi.
so good to see you. Thank you so much for setting this up and creating the environment. You and your partner, business partner, and your husband. You guys are. I first of all, I love that you work together. I think that's amazing. I also love that you have a different company that you run, separately as well. And so, thank you, and thank you, John, for doing this, for having the studio here for us, for the virtual speakers, for Ara. Thank you for providing great quality production during our in-person gathering that we did in November. You guys definitely highlighted, created a much higher experience than I was even hoping for. So you really you did an amazing job with such a global quality. It really and an intention. And so it's been a pleasure to know you, and I'm really excited with to be for you guys to do the next production. And now also with your other company too, Illuminatra and Home Base production company. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you will be able to produce for guests of our. And so, but I want to ask you. I want to ask you about what's your approach in creating production value, because while you have very technical kind of a quality too, and I know John has been part of creating experiences and working as kind of a technical production, right? On amazing spaces of, from Fox, and then working with what do you call them, the EDC production, right? Where you guys you've been on an interesting journey together, and then yet there's almost like a consciousness and a touch of awareness that you have to all the productions that you do. So I want to talk about that first, and then I'll ask you more questions about the companies as well, because I would love for you to share about what you guys are doing. And it's really lovely to see that your work is needed, and you in both of your companies, while during shutdown too, you guys been doing a conscious approach and making sure that the high quality conscious entertainment and production keeps happening, and I think it's more important now than ever. So, but let's talk about your conscious approach and how you guys are different.
Thank you for that nice welcome. I'm so happy to be here in my space with you. And so we have been on a very long journey. It started in LA for me personally. That's where I was born and raised, and have learned a lot along the way. I've experienced a lot, and when John and I met, we connected deeply, very, very fast. It was one of those unions where you're just like, I want to journey with you for a long time, whatever that's like, let's do it. And so we came up with the name Home Base, which is home, stands for OHM, stands for frequency, and bass is, for electronic-based music, but also could be used in the terms of like a bass, B-A-S-E, which
Like
is
a base, so your home base.
Yeah, the home base, exactly. So a lot of times when we are greeting the community, we'll say welcome home, and it just resonates within their being, because we believe that the Om is the frequency in which we all were possibly created from. Just that pure frequency of just being Om and just pure frequency. So with the events, creating a safe space, safe container, whatever that looks like. Of course, we have different measures now with safety due to COVID and everything, but creating a safe space where people can be themselves, but is also creating an inviting space where people can learn and be excited to learn, be excited to expand whatever that looks like to them. And so when we're creating an event, we are truly consciously curating an event because we want to give people a deeper experience beyond just attending any kind of typical party or festival. We want to really integrate consciousness behind everything that we do. So the whole experience is generally, what it feels like to me is kind of like a story where you'll kind of reach like a climax, and then you'll have time to like recenter and just enjoy the space, and then so that will typically include like workshops and workshops and just conscious entertainment. So the musicians that come in are some of the best local talent here in Austin, Texas. We've made a lot of really great ties and connections with so many different people, and we all just come together and we create just a beautiful experience for people to have. We want to reprogram in a way what it means to have fun at an event. We want people to feel like it is okay to gather and not have to be in a space where they feel like they have to fill all these voids because we're offering so much to them. And it's all happening and we're all creating this experience together. It's a very collaborative and a very immersive type of experience.
So it's an immersive experience also with high production. So it's interesting. Your company runs events and has been running events, but you guys also do production for others. So for example, for ARA, you guys you did production, and I appreciate that you guys can connect that quality of technical production and then that creativity of the extended consciousness, and then moving on into kind of of what it means to have immersive experiences. And you guys, you really do a great job with that, and I'm just really looking forward to learning more about that. So that's what you guys do with On Base. So now you have another company with that you co-founded with, I believe, two other artists, right?
One other, her name's
One other. Oh, my apologies. Yes, and so you're two women, and so good job for you. Having one woman have a startup and start a business is a miracle. Two women, I think that's just so wonderful, and the world needs more of that. And so your expression through that company is more of arts and performances, and so I was fortunate enough to see a couple of things that you guys have done, and I mean it's a world-class experience, and it's right here in Austin. And so what motivated you to then also start a performance company in addition to your production company?
Absolutely. So I think John's in the camera. So with Illuminatra, the co-founder of Illuminatra
Wait,
is.
sorry.
Okay.
Because we'll just cut and paste. This is not on. I think my video is not.
My camera is overheating, it seems.
Okay.
That's probably what happens when I sit right over the heater, Heater's
I
not on
see.
now.
Oh no, it's rolling. Okay, good. Okay, so it's been
We
rolling.
can
Good.
cut it to-
Yeah, I'll cut it. Yeah.
So yeah, with the Illuminatra Entertainment, I co-founded this company with Jordan Remar, another fantastic, talented performer here in Austin, Texas. And when you break down the word of what Illuminatra means, the illuminate is to illuminate and
To light up.
to bring light to.
Yeah.
And Natra represents like vitality and the very essence of like vitality and like health and movement and all of that. So we combined the words together, and it's a really interesting play on the whole conspiracy of Illuminati in a way, because we feel like we do a lot of the similar things that they do as far as
Well,
within
to some people,
entertainment.
Illuminati is like a evil organization. To some, it's actually a not evil organization.
Exactly. So what we do is we do what they do in a way as far as sharing deeper hidden consciousness, almost subliminally, through storytelling, performance arts, on a maybe even a more spiritual level. So when we're doing our own storytelling performance acts, it is a story, and we're telling a message, and we incorporate like fire and aerial acrobatics and different props, and we're going to start introducing more like singers and musicians as well. That's the next step, but and like elaborate costumes and all of that.
Yeah.
That's what you
Well, you gave me the answer to the question. I think there's basically, it's good to have the arrival to the answer. So to the question.
Oh, I wanted to. Okay.
I also wanted to mention that we also can appeal to like the corporate world. We like to adapt to anyone's vision, so we can really create an experience for anyone's event or idea and make it just a little more magical.
Yeah. Well,
What I appreciate is that you guys have your production, and through that production you express everything that you described, and then also your company allows, basically provides the service, and you adapt with your production to the needs of who is hiring you.
Yeah.
And it's really great because the quality of the performance and of your group and what you guys are doing, it really is world class. So you often would go to Las Vegas to see, and I know a lot of your performers that work with you, and you guys are putting something together. I know I will jump into the February thing in a minute, but I think that it's really great because for me, for our experience, you guys were very professional, and it was really wonderful to have that experience of the high quality and the really standard, and then still have a little bit of a touch, because by your presence, it's always almost like you allowed us to expand a little bit more into those expressions. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing and seeing what you're going to be doing with Illuminatra for at ABE, and what performance you have. What I appreciate is that you want to tell a story, and I do believe that every event, and even if it's an event that happens every year, or however, it almost has its own personality, because there's the group of people that comes in, and there's the time and space that it happens, and the events and everything else. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how you express that story that we're going to be talking about during our next ARA gathering. So for example, it was, we are Innovations Summit, and so being able to have that artistic expression for Innovation Summit, I think that's really great. But I want to talk about your upcoming event. And so it's in February, and it's a joint event you're putting together, and I believe you guys are really wanting to see if you can do it annually and create kind of a standard for gathering up in a conscious way, but really around the topic of love, and creating a high quality production through your own base company together with Illuminatra, with that artistic expression, while you also have really interesting workshops and attracting different conscious service providers, if you would, right, into festival and celebration of love and unity and togetherness. So let's talk about that, because that's upcoming. It's 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm really excited about that. this as well. So with Own Base, what we love to do is we try to aim for our events falling on like holidays, even like Sundays, where people would generally go to church. What we want to do is recreate new traditions, because I do feel like humans have the ability to do that, and we aren't exactly taught how to do that for ourselves. We're kind of like, oh, it's Christmas and this is what this holiday means, but really we have the power to create whatever it is we want to experience. And so for instance, we had a Halloween event, and it was all about integrating like the shadow work and the spooky stuff, and it was really beautiful. Everybody kind of transmuted by the fire, and we had really special performances and music. And the next day was the international holiday, All Saints Day, and so we woke up and kind of basked in the sunlight and did yoga and like just centered the whole day around anything that feels holy to the individual. So all religions, all deity, anything is welcome and celebrated. That was the emergence there. For this upcoming event, it is falling on Sunday, February 14th, and it is the international holiday, Valentine's Day, and we are excited to kind of bring a new approach to the holiday, gathering people in nature on 100 acres, right? And we really want to give people an experience where they feel like they are creating the highest version of love that they want to feel and see for that day.
So what kind of experience?
What kind of experiences can attendees basically have there?
Yeah. So I thought about what is it that couples or even an individual might want to do on Valentine's Day. So we integrated a lot of the same activities, I guess, that you can do by yourself or with your partner out here in the city, but instead in beautiful nature with other lovers and other people. So we have like a morning hike and where you can picnic, and we have an idea of like doing like a communal like love soup. We're gonna call it a love soup, vegan option, and also maybe a meat option. And then I was thinking we could do a giant, painting together and have workshops based on educating people of the different meanings of love across the world, and how people view it, and see what resonates with people. Partner workshops, single person workshops for self-love and affirmations, to promote self-love as well, because a lot of people do feel lonely on Valentine's Day as well, and I want to invite those people as well so that they can
Everybody. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And love, I mean,
Love starts with self. So if we're going to learn to love each other, we must learn how to love ourselves. And I mean, this is a wisdom everybody knows. I'm not dropping the wisdom here. It's kind of a common knowledge here, right? And it's interesting because it really doesn't matter whether you're single, a couple, a triple, or whatever, quadruple, or whatever love is portion of it. And I love that you're putting the intention into what it means to love with the experience, with the connecting and putting the nature into it. But also with the Luminatra, you want to tell the story, right? So you're going to do a performance and tell the story of love. Tell more about that. I want to know more about that.
So we will have also, another activity couples or some of the person might want to do on Valentine's Day. It's eat dinner. So we're going to incorporate semi-farm to table, holistic catering type experience for you guys. And then we are either going to merge the entertainment and the show while you dine or right after. And this is going to be a storytelling of how Luminatra views love and how to I guess call it like the universal love, and the energetic love that was just like swirling around us at all times. You know, incorporating a lot of Tai Chi and then with our props and costumes and just telling a story. It's just gonna be like a modern day.
It's gonna be
Storytelling
beautiful.
active.
I'm so excited to see it. I'm just so excited. It's going to be beautiful. And after a day of workshops and connecting with the nature and making intention of what love and joy means, seeing the performance and I got a sneak peek on a couple of things that you guys have done. I've seen some of your performers do work and I've seen you perform as well and a little bit. And I must say, you guys have such a beautiful expression through the movement and creativity, and what you guys collectively doing is really beautiful, including incorporating technology into performance as well. I know that with Homebase, you guys are with the studio, you're setting up the holographic projection here too as well. So by next interview, we'll have that, and it's amazing that you are incorporating technology and creativity and expression and then multiple arts. So
we're excited for the aura.
yeah. So and Ara, I mean,
Because that's where we're really gonna
right.
Bring in that other element.
Right. So the technology element, right? Because that's right. That's what Ara is. It's Innovations Summit, right? So we do that. But before I let you go, I want to ask you a question. 25 years from now, you look around and you can have the reality that you wish to have, and that is the reality that you see around yourself. Can you describe that reality for me, please?
Yes.
Love this question. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak this out loud to you. Well, I see you in my future. Yes, please. But yeah, no. So a functional, sustainable event center, absolutely, where we can, be the place people want to go instead of a movie theater on the weekend, consistently, having the tools and access to continuously expand, being able to get to the level of Cirque du Soleil, but also when we are integrating like the spirituality with technology, becoming adding a new normalcy to that and getting people inspired on that level and being able to see that as like the new normal, so that and being able to give our message and our music and our art to the masses one way or the other, whether we merge completely to virtual reality or whether it's in person, we want to be able to share with the masses.
That sounds beautiful. So what I hear is that your vision in 25 years is to have a new type of Cirque du Soleil experiences for people around the world, where they can have where the entertainment can be more of a conscious experience for them, specifically designed for what that is important for them, whether it's virtual or in person or hybrid or anything else. That sounds beautiful, and it will be. The 25 years is a long time, and as long as you keep on moving your foot forward in front of another, it will be. And we need more of Cirque du Soleil, and that Cirque du Soleil filed bankruptcy. So it's a tragedy that happened, and so I think that what you're describing is going to happen way faster. And so that's my goal, and that's our, that's your goal, and thank you so much for doing it. So, but on February 14th,
And the best way to be invited to participating in this gathering would be to,
So you can go to www.ohm-bass.com and we'll have all of the event information on that website. Or if you have me personally on Facebook, feel free to reach out there, or you can reach out to our email, info@ohmbase.com. Should I repeat that?
Well, so website, right, homebase.com?
Yeah, so it's ohm-bass.com.
Okay, okay, and I'll post the link, so, then people can just click on it. And also, you guys have a Facebook, page as well, and you are active on Facebook. And one more thing, the event is for the network. I know you guys are welcoming to a lot of new members all the time, and, but you do wanna make sure that, there's almost kind of a curated experience through that. And so I guess the best way to for somebody to get hold of you is just to go to Facebook page or website and contact from there. And it's, you guys are amazing. You are so welcoming to your community, and so thank you so much for doing that. And I'll post the link for it. And then I'm excited for February.
Yeah, same.
We'll also have the info set up on the Illuminatra website, and that is illuminatra.com.
Thank you so much. And Ara,
Yeah.
but you'll have a little bit of a previews about Ara, so don't worry about that. Thank you.
okay, okay, and then now it's on.
I need first. I'll be right back.
It's funny, me testing out. Practicing my 25-minute keynote.
Ooh, what was that?
That was me, touching the wrong power strip.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Oh, you're so shy, look at you.
I know, it's so weird. I get so, I had to be performing.
It takes,
Like, tops me out of my.
well, speaking,
Yeah.
and it's a public speaking too, it just takes practice.
Yeah.
I've been speaking all day and still, mumbling and saying some of the things, so it's all,
I hope that was good.
it was really good, it was great, I thought.
I'm like, should I not have mentioned the Illuminati thing?
What?
Should I? I don't know. It was too much. That's kind of one of our secrets
No.
together. Not secrets, but
No, okay, so, do you wanna make money?
yeah.
Okay. Do your partners, okay, so you wanna make money, does your business partner wants to make money? Okay, so
We can,
do you have performers to whom you need to pay money to so they can get jobs?
Yes.
So, why are we waiting?
Yeah.
You wanna-
We do want to be like the next Illuminati.
Well, then that's why-
But we want to be able to like.
That's why I
like
made the
the-
separation
yeah.
to there and said that
Yeah.
events, and I think it's important for you too to set yourself up that it's not just a production, we throw our events, but we are for hire, right? Because your events is the one thing, but for
Yeah.
hire, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, would you like to go and get gigs that
Yeah.
are, like a
Yeah.
high quality, right?
Yeah, totally.
For your own based
Yeah.
production, so for John to do the lights, the
Yeah.
sound, the
And
technical
so
things.
I should have mentioned that like when Homebase and Illuminati collaborate, it takes our performance to a whole other level.
Oh, it's fine, yeah.
Because then we can really add in like lighting.
Right,
and
right,
add
right.
in other things.
Yeah, but that's
next to
assumed.
it. Yeah.
Right, so that's kind of like, so you should have like, I would make like a sales package basically,
Yeah.
your basic something, right?
Yeah, we do. We have, we usually go off of like 3 tiers.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, by the way, so for you guys, for the Illuminatra, so, do you have the program and people that you wanna do performance for Ara, or should we talk about, because I was thinking too, I wanna make sure that, so I wanna know how much it will cost,
mhm.
so I need to know, like, okay, because if I get sponsors and I sell tickets, right, and or either or whatever, I wanna know how much it's like, what's the minimum, right, and then what's the market price, because I'd rather just get a sponsor and pay market, like, this is how much you charge, this is your package, this is what you know, like, how much would you charge just to go and do that? And so, and then I wanna know how much down payment is
John,
to.
the baby woke up.
Okay.
It's just.
Good time. Yeah.
Do you wanna go?
I asked her not to bring him in there. She said okay.
Yeah, so anyhow, but I guess what I'm saying is that, I'd love to know, I wanna make sure that performers, so I wanna make sure that like, so I know we have the dates and like for you guys, we
Are you
can,
gonna go get her, John, or should I go get her?
but for all your performers, I wanna make sure that they book, they block off the time
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
do it, so I wanna know, you know, is there a down payment, is there a $50 down payment for somebody to say I'm gonna, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, because it's a commitment, right? You don't have to get paid, maybe there's like another portion of it before the event and then after the complete, I don't know, but I wanna make sure, because I've been thinking about it, cause once I know that I have commitment from people that yes, we will be there, then I can put that on the schedule and I can start, you know.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I will start off, right now, a lot of people are flexible with their time right now, and
Right.
there's, you know, we'll make ourselves available always for any kind,
Right.
you know,
So what would, how many people, performers and
so, yeah, we can make it as, we can make it as small as you want or as big as you want.
Yeah.
So there, we can have anywhere from one performer to 20, you know,
Okay.
roaming, the event,
Right.
you know. I guess the scale of it is what, is gonna be.
so for
up
your
to you.
core production to have you perform and then Jordan and then Denton and then a
Well,
couple of your
maybe.
other key people, like your key people, you know, how much, like, how many people is that? And then like, does it take 500, like, does it have like, does it take $50 to just kind of
So what we generally do is, like I want to be flexible with you because you're
Yeah.
so helpful to us with everything going on, you know. Generally what we do with our clients though is we ask for like a 50% deposit at
Yeah.
least a month before the event.
at least a month, right?
And so we'll save that, depending on, like we have so many costumes and different things, but if it's, really like where we have to make something custom for
Yeah.
you, we'll have a separate
Separate, right?
percentage, you know, from
But
that.
utilizing what you
booking
have,
fee kind
right?
of thing, so we can really create
Yeah.
something special for you. And then if you want to, like, similar to what you saw at the Buzz Fest, if
Yeah.
you want us to integrate the holographic, stage design or projection, like
But
test
we'll
drive
already have
projection.
that with home base.
So you do want the performance to merge in that way, right?
Well, we can just utilize what we have there, right? Because if it's, I don't know how, ideal, I'd like to have it all the way just to really display with, one of the things that I wanna make sure that we have high quality recorders, people that actually recording and then editing and stuff and streaming,
Yeah.
so we can have a high quality video content as well. So, but I have somebody, and I'm sure you guys do, like I'm sure from the network with
Oh,
them.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
can put videographers, right?
Yeah,
Because if
we
we
have
have
some
technology, we have performance, we have
Yeah.
videographers,
Mhm.
then that's very, very, because even if things don't go back to normal, not normal, if things don't find their new normalization to where people are comfortably traveling and it's, and things get the way they were in November, we already have presence that people will go and then we can just make it to where it's the biggest whatever production value, right? I don't think so, but we don't know. Like we don't know.
Well, so, because what we can do, the price is very depending on what it is we have to bring out. If you're interested in like the aerial arts,
Yeah.
like
full on like aerial acrobatic shows.
Yeah.
What I'm envisioning like naturally right now what's coming in is like if we can wrap around what we can either do is have like a variety of different shows throughout the event, like
Yeah.
flash performances,
Yeah.
scheduled flash
I think
performances throughout
so.
the show,
Yeah.
or we could do like two like big choreographed shows all in like
Choreographed, right.
one space.
Yeah.
If you have like separate areas where we're doing flash performances, we could have one installation where it's going to be our portable aerial rig.
Yeah.
Our portable aerial rig is pretty big,
Yeah.
but it plenty of room on the land.
Right.
You set it up, and we can add some projector screens
Yeah.
around it and create like this immersive environment around the
Yeah.
performer. And she can be doing the aerial acrobatics within that.
Yeah.
And, it was like really beautiful, like project onto her and
Yeah.
this moving art kind
Yeah.
of thing. That could be like one installation, and generally for that, like, it's a lot to set it up and to,
Right.
it's a lot to set it up and to, the aerial acrobatics.
Like, do you have a pricing and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so will you send me just so I can,
Yeah, I'll do that.
basically, that's all, if you have it already.
Sure. Well, the thing is, I just wanted to get an idea, I guess, because what we like in LA, the largest production that we did was for like, I was with another circus company at the time, this was Aussie Experience, and for Coachella, and what they did was like, it was like a $10,000 production.
Yeah.
And that
Per
was-
weekend, 2 weekends,
Per weekend.
20,000.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that was, 2 weekends, but
Yeah.
for 1 weekend at 10 grand, and that was.
And it was everything.
That was an hour-long
Right.
show, and they
There
had
was
their.
20 performers with an 8K stereoscopic IMAX LED wall.
For how long the performance? For an hour? Yeah,
And so
both
then-
days,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
That's a lot,
Yeah.
Both weekends.
both weekends.
Because Coachella sells so many tickets that they should do the same show 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
2
yeah.
weekends in a row.
Well, I mean like two separate hours in 1 week,
yes.
basically, yeah, so $10,000
And it's
for,
really like not.
No, it's just Saturday,
Yeah.
and then the next weekend Saturday.
oh,
And then we were
okay, just
looking
one,
about the same budget when we all went
Yeah.
to Tulum to do
Yeah.
this big NYE gig.
Yeah.
So that's generally like the big price range for like a big,
Yeah.
big show, a lot of performers.
right,
So for
Well, that's
something like where we just have like
2
three
semi-trucks
people and
full
we're
of
bringing.
equipment.
right,
And if
so
we're,
there's
we're
a,
bringing out the aerial rig and like the holographic display.
so
and
the goal is like
projections.
10K to turn it up,
If you want to really turn it up,
Yeah.
10K can make that happen.
right, so I can give you guys 10K and you can do performance and the production, yeah.
Yeah, it would be like immersed together.
Right,
yeah,
they merge
and
together,
we-
right,
and
right,
we
right,
work
because,
together.
yeah, okay, that's all I need to know
Yeah,
is
for
the
like
bulk,
sponsor
right, the
thing.
bulk,
That
right,
we'll be able to do more because Dell's throwing hardware at us now.
right, so,
I mean, that's like next level, but
Right.
a lot of, but one thing to consider is if you're depending on ticket sales and stuff like that, generally people are looking for other, we might wanna meet earlier and do like some sort of promo,
yeah,
something, and then,
yeah.
or consider booking like a headliner, some sort of musician that's a
Yeah,
headliner.
I wanna actually have so I'd love to have the person that you said plays violin,
Going down.
and I also want to have the Goji and Cassia, they're Italian,
Oh, okay.
they play handpans and DJ and.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Psytrance?
Yeah, I love Goji, you know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly these two.
The two chicks,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I know what you're
Yeah,
They play
yeah.
handpan and
The
DJ
handpan.
and sing on the beach
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Ibiza and
Yeah.
then all over the world, like
Right.
the most beautiful beaches
Yes.
with drone footage. Yeah.
Right, so I want that too, that's what I want, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know that.
I don't know if
And then also we'll have there's an event coming in Tulum, and IJ and Karen, and then maybe it will be one of our sister, kind of a co-follow sister, you know, so like a partnership network. Because I want to have every single month different thing that kind of meets with the theme of innovation, but an ARA baseline, because I can then have my speakers and just send them to where I'm gonna be going basically, and and then but it's within a local whatever. And so Karen, she's one of the shamans actually. Remember I told you about two lady shamans in Tulum? So I want her to actually come here for Ara too. Because she can talk about Tulum, IJ will talk about the Tulum, and then she can, but I mean, like they sing this soul music and play handpan too, and she has all the tools, and they know all the ceremonial changa songs,
So
which
good.
sound like
So Govinda's rate, like if we're working through the, if it's a private event and it's out of region, it's out of Austin, so
right,
he could hook us up for like for doing for like 500.
yeah,
But generally it's like 2,000.
right.
And then so if you want my help there to get that.
I would love that. So I'd love to know the list of people who you, because we can do a couple interesting
Yeah.
things, and I want to do that, right?
Yeah. And then if we can work towards like the larger, budget, like if it's easy and it's like somebody is willing to throw 10 credits, like you think that you're gonna be able to get it back and all of that, like
right.
that's great. But like we can work, we don't have to start there. Like
Right.
that
Well,
could
and
be
I
something
can't
for-
start.
yeah.
I just wanted to know the
Yeah,
ballpark.
that's for like
'Cause
when
I
we're
can't-
doing like
right.
thousands, because Coachella is like how many people go to
Right,
Coachella?
right. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's like
But look, if I
They're
get
making
if I get a
30,000
per
sponsor,
weekend.
making millions.
I just use the sponsor for that, right? Like I if somebody says I will pay for the production,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I want to turn it up and this is how much it costs. Sponsor for this much, then I will do it. If not, and I have to make things, make things happen.
Yeah.
That's on a bare minimum. So and we can do that because again, like the Karen will come because she needs to promote the Tulum event and.
If you had like, I wonder how much like closing or something like that.
Well, you can get the hookup on pretty much everyone on Gravitas.
Gravitas, yeah. Or the Gravitas record label. So if you need help, like
Yeah.
pulling in the
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'd love to, I want to start I'd love to have like because we don't need too much, right? Just, but start promoting that and showing it to people that, that's important, especially since
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about that. Maybe it'd be awesome, like interviews, if there's some performers that are going to be, I'd love to interview them because we
Yeah.
could do that in the studio, we can do the past, so we did
It would
the
be great to
virtual
like
speakers.
show like a snippet or like an
Yeah,
example, which I
yeah.
have videos of.
Like you can just project it back here.
Yeah. Or just like add another screen.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. Let's see who, and then I'll do the interviews with them. We'll just do the same. Like we'll just do future performers like Ara.
Okay.
And I want to do that too because then we can promote them
Yeah.
too, and then I can learn them, and then they know more about that. And then what the good thing about that too is that people in my network, because you can hire always performers to travel abroad, right? So or to different cities. So
It would
as
be
they see, they would.
It would be great to, I need to like start making the music part, because eventually the music is gonna be part of like the whole show.
Yeah.
Like the
Right.
playing our own original produced music,
Right.
and then
Baby
with-
steps.
Yeah,
Baby steps.
but it's
These are already big steps.
yeah,
Just doing this
This is what we
too.
can do
Start with
now.
a remix.
Yeah.
yeah. Start
Yeah.
with the remix. Yeah.
Do you want to do an interview, John?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay,
Mhm.
let's do it. Do you want to do interview? Oh, I will interview you. I will as soon as you can say words to me. I want to know what you have to say about things. Yes, I do. I do. I bet you have so many things to say. Yeah. I'm enjoying the delicious, crunchy, super yummy chip. Yes,
Are you eating a chip?
Daddy
Did Daddy give you a chip?
Yes. We did self-fed for Valentina.
Yeah.
That means that you never give them food. They select what you eat. So we would go to a restaurant and she would pick from what we ordered. So Valentina's first bite before she had any
Was the
food was
cheeseburger.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
My poor mom. Yeah, I told you this story. The whole Montessori thing was really challenging for my parents, especially because there's no cribs, there's all these rules, and then you're like, you know, she just learned how to walk, and she's already like, they are learning how to prepare their own food. It's like, what, you know.
Always Montessori
So like
kid.
Jasper would be already in preparing his food and working on.
That's why Sophie is a big knife. Like Lumina was like, "What you doing with that big knife?" Like she knows how to handle a knife. She'll chop all the vegetables.
My kid cooks. I don't eat breakfast. My kid will wake up and make her eggs, and if you come over like often, she'll prepare eggs for guests too. You know, and like she makes her own pasta. She'll prepare salads. It's like she ain't waiting on anybody. You know, like I do my own. She's like, I do my own stuff.
Do you have a different microphone too, so we can, because passing it along is kind of hard.
I'll plug in another microphone.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, I'll send you like our like what we generally send, like our tiers and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Just so why it's helpful for me because I can just give it to a sponsor, right? So I can include that for a sponsor because at the end of the day, I don't think I'm just gonna say I'm looking for sponsor and somebody's gonna click on the package and give me, you know, $10,000 for production. Like I'm pretty sure I will need to talk to them, but giving them the package makes it to where it's.
And that's just like.
Yeah,
that's
because I
just,
do
like,
think I want all sponsorship money that goes to production, go to production. You know, I don't want to be like, well, I'll take $1,000 from it or whatever. Like I want to maximize the dollar that people sponsoring, especially because it promotes the arts and production and what you guys are doing because that's.
You know what we could do
That's what
too
we need
is,
now.
when we have the levy wand, we can program your logo into it, and you spin it around as an LED pixel. And
Oh,
it's
that's
like
awesome.
Your logo
Yeah.
is like spinning around the performer.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic.
You know what? Maybe we could do Ara and do that at Love Fest. I'm calling it Love Fest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever. Is there a Love Fest?
There is.
I'm sure there's Love
There's
Fest.
plenty.
That would be
Yeah.
ridiculous if there was not Love Fest. You know, but because it doesn't matter, we can just snip it as a thing, and then you know, all we need is just a couple whatever, a minute or two, right?
Yeah, if you,
Of that.
whatever you want to
Yeah.
grab from that.
Yeah, so I used
Get the smokes back.
I put him up on that speaker.
Oh, cool. I'm just gonna get this thing booted back up real quick. We gotta go there.
guys
Finish
like
my
I'm ready to once I walk go and help daddy plug in everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Just
go
like so.
yeah, plug in and
How can I
touch.
help, Dad? Let me help. I want to be just like you.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, there is something about connecting and wiring wires and hardwiring things to make them work, like your hardware. I think is
Most
such
definitely.
like
I
even
mean,
if
you
she
think about coiling cables. Is what I started doing
yeah.
in the industry. Coiling cables.
What does that
Coil
mean?
them really tight, they pick up memory. And they want to be a tight coil.
What do you mean to coiling?
Wrapping
Why?
cables.
Oh, okay.
Wrapping cables as a grip. That's where I started.
That's you guys have some loud neighbor there.
Oh yeah.
Our speakers are louder than theirs though.
It works out.
Oh, okay.
They have one projector. we
Okay,
have
you
five.
tolerate them, they tolerate you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
At first, it was really annoying because they were going like really late, and it's right above my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear like gangster rap when I'm going to bed. And then,
Then
but
we got
they've
this
been-
garage, and I just
But
like
they're super-
wash over it with healing tones, and the whole floor is just like this healing frequency,
Yeah.
just right above.
Yeah.
Happy baby. Diggy 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 diggy. Your smiles. Happy
Yeah.
baby. Happy baby pose. Yay. So, oh.
Check, 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 check.
Hmm?
Are you still trying?
Check.
The what?
Oh, I'm not trying right now.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
no.
So much is going on.
My body is not ready to have a baby right now.
Yeah.
But whatever. I took IUD out in September, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
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 I think I'm done.
How old are you?
I'm 20. Oh, gonna be 28.
Yeah, don't make decisions until the rest of your life. For now, you don't.
You're right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you don't know.
You're right. I just don't know. I don't,
Just don't do anything that would make it to
Yeah.
where you have to reverse it. That's all.
For what?
Like, don't go and try your tubes because you're
Oh
trying.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Like
Whatever.
whatever.
John can get a vasectomy because he can reverse it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that tying the tubes is like so invasive and it's like way easier process for the boys.
Right, and you can reverse it. Well, I think that the smart thing to do is put the sperm into the bank just in case if you can't reverse it, and then you just have your sperm
Oh yeah.
from when you're younger, and who gives a like you just have your sperm. So
Who says you can't reverse it?
well, vasectomy sometimes might not be reversible.
It's totally
right?
reversible.
Small percentages.
You go in if you have a procedure where there's a deformity
I
in the
know,
tube.
I know, but
You remove the sections of the tube with deformity, replace it with polytetrafluoroethylene,
right. All I'm
and
saying is
done.
that like to
They don't
eliminate
do that.
any risk, you just wanna, if you wanna.
He's saying for tying the tubes and like no way. No,
No,
the doctor's
it's
gonna
very
come in.
invasive. And then reversing and tying tubes
The
and like
doctor's gonna
It's
do
not that invasive. They have new laser procedures that are minimally
no,
invasive.
and then like reversing for women, the
Yeah.
Oh, for women, definitely.
for
Yeah.
men it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for men it's like
should
nothing.
men should have that. I think it should be like a procedure. You go and freaking get your, you
I
know,
was
Until you're
vasectomy.
ready.
Right, like
contemplating
you're ready to have
automating
sex,
it.
Yeah.
have the vasectomy, go
Yeah.
do it. When you're ready to have a child, go
Yeah.
make an, go make a child.
Yeah, I had this idea the other day to do a Planned Parenthood project to make a CNC, like 3D printer machine
Yeah.
that performed vasectomies to extreme precision.
Ew.
Then you don't have any humans, you have a simple machine that does the
Okay,
job.
nobody's
it's
gonna let you
perfect.
touch their balls, okay?
I don't want to touch them, I want the robot to do the job with a laser.
Well, I don't think
It's
a
not
lot of
happening.
men
It's
would
not
do that. I think they would want like, I think they would want to fantasize that there's a hot nurse that's gonna touch their balls while they're getting the vasectomy.
Then you'd be
I
in
don't know, I
business.
personally prefer
Then you'd be
robot
in
precision.
business.
Right, well,
But that's just me.
I'm willing to bet you're a small portion of the segment of the.
I'm an extremely small portion
Right.
of the population.
You know, I'm pretty sure men go into the vasectomy and the dream of like, don't worry, you're gonna have a hard nurse.
She's just biting.
No, I was contemplating getting a laser scalpel and doing it myself.
Oh my gosh.
Right, John, don't do it.
I would need a
Sounds
laser
talented,
scalpel to be able
You
to
know-
build the surgical robot, right? I
No,
can't
you
build a
can't- you
surgical
can't.
robot
I'm
without a
just
laser
gonna call it
scalpel.
out. You cannot do that.
Why not?
Just don't do it.
I've
Just
stapled
don't do
myself,
it.
stitched myself, fused myself with dry ice and hot metal.
Like the jewels should be touched by experienced whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I told
I did a little pre-med. I've dissected some human cadavers.
it's not enough to provide reverse out in this.
Okay.
Oh, sure it
I'm
is.
starting the thing.
I'm confident in my abilities. There's nothing I can't do.
Says the one that was like shaking with his nipple piercing.
Did I pierce both my
Okay, this
nipples?
is-
That I did.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, so I'll do the countdown again. You know the drill. So 3, 2, 1. John, thank you so much for spending the day and sharing your studio here and sharing your experience and really kind of empowering me with Ara as well, because the quality of production that you were able to bring to Ara just really impressed everybody that attended. I mean, that's kind of the feedback was that wow, the production, the attention, it was really amazing. And of course we had amazing speakers as well, and we did have wonderful space to be in, but in the end of the day, it was in a farm, outdoors in the barn, right? And you brought that attention to detail and the complexity of what it takes to provide really true quality production with all these moving parts of wires and screens and things and the lasers and the music and the lights and the speakers and the microphones and the wires and more lights and all that and it was really amazing and possible, and it's not possible so far in that quality of technical production to where I would have to wait several years, but it was there. It was like a magic right then, right there, where most of people were dealing with the new reality of what was happening in November, and things started shutting down. You were able to bring that hope in the production to where I think that we all need, and that aspect and the aspect of entertainment and the connecting with your lovely wife, who is also your business partner. I mean, it was really great. So thank you so much for doing that. And John, I want to talk to you. So we've already talked about your with your wife. We talked about kind of things you do, and you're amazing at putting the technical production together. I want to ask you about kind of your worldview, because you do more than just production. You actually work with 3D printer, and you put together, you have the laser cutting, and you put together the holographic projection, and your vision of kind of the integrating the technology into the experiences and into the production, and that entertainment for how people are going to be living in the future and experiencing that entertainment and production. It's such a multi-layered experience to where it includes these advanced technologies. I mean, talking to you, it's always very advanced technologies, and you take your time and you describe to me, okay, the screen is for the see-through for this laser and there, and with all of this, we can stimulate the environment where it feels like you're there, and the graphics are around you. And why did you choose the path of this very highly technical journey with wires and production and the hardwiring the experience for people? What drove you to it?
I was kind of born into it. My father is a director of operations with Mundo Fox and the Black Report in Los Angeles, and he actually invented video digital control protocol in our living room. I was I think around 9 years old. My dad decided, you fit under that tech floor real well. Take this bundle of cables and this headlamp and crawl to the other side of the TV station. And it was fun. I had a blast. I got to hang out with my dad. I felt like a special agent. I mean, I was a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, so it just made sense.
So it's almost in your genes, that hardwiring is in your genes with your dad, and that experience as a child. So you have a daughter, and she's really technical as well. Well, you have two daughters. One of them is tiny baby, so she's watching us right now and learning all about what we're talking about. But you also provide that experience. Do you think you almost have like the wiring gene inside of you?
Well, if we take back my ancestry, my dad's director of operations and engineering for multinational broadcast corporations. My grandfather was a master electrician. My great-grandfather helped to found the electricians' union. His brother fought against it. We go back further, and we've got Native American remote viewers and Vietnam experiments. It just seems like, yes, it's in my genes to be connected to the string theory of the multiverse.
The string theory of multiverse. Expand on that a little bit for people that are not aware of what you're talking about.
Well, string theory is a theory of the relativity of the entire universe, that all particles are connected by these vibratory strings, and therefore every atom, proton, nucleus, subatomic particle are all connected and intertwined.
That's such a great summary. I mean, string theory is kind of complex, and some people read string theory and then they don't know what they read. So you summarized it so well. I really appreciate it. I actually drew a mental picture of what you were saying, which is amazing. I must say, I read the book and it was interesting, but you just were able to nail it like that in a summary of one sentence. So I want to ask you what kind of what your desired outcome for, let's say, next 3 years? Where do you see what you want to be doing as far as your work and production?
My work in production is bridging the gap between the waking and non-waking states of reality, so that we can all open up to actual reality and stop sleeping.
Okay, interesting. So how do you achieve that?
Well, based on Descartes' meditations, I think therefore I am is the only possible truth that can be ascertained from reality. And therefore, by layering digital and physical sensory experiences, engineering experiences, as this is the job title I've coined for myself, experience engineer, we're able to peel back the perceptions of separation.
Interesting. And that's true. I think therefore I am, right? So that's such a great way to think about it. I often think about, in the dreams we experience, the dreams we live in those. I can identify myself in the dream and say, okay, am I a dream or am I asleep? So, which is interesting. I know some people who do that they can wake up in a dream and say like, oh wait, am I asleep or am I dreaming during the deep sleep? I'm, very, very, very deep sleeps. So, but that I think, therefore I am, has been something that is an interesting anchor to the reality, because you can then see how you can change the reality based on how you're thinking. And then, I do know that some people can do that in a dream. I can't. Hypothetically, they can. I don't know. I haven't experienced it, but in a waking time, for me, that's kind of been the anchoring as well. And so, okay, so you are independent entrepreneur at this point, right? So you have been, and you've been working in this industry to where I know that in the times of the past when people were gathering and where there were gatherings such as EDC and Burning Man, and it sounds like centuries ago, a completely different world. You were very, very busy, and now for you, world has slowed down. And so, in some ways, right? So, and for you, as the world slowed down, what are you bringing out into the kind of a new reality? What have you been able to spend your time on creating that you maybe wouldn't have been able to if you were 24/7 constantly having to be booked for the production of the quality of work that you do, because you have a very high quality of production work. So in a busier times when people were gathering, we can only imagine that your time was very accounted for. So I want to know what that secret sauce that you're working on as far as like the tech. What is the interesting tech that you are kind of being able to carry forward that you now think that you can build or are building? I know you're working on a couple of interesting projects, and I know some of them you might not be ready to talk about because there's some other discussion. Right. So, but something that you were able to disclose, what is that kind of came up as an opportunity to be able to tinker a little bit more than you maybe would be if you were just constantly booked for the work.
Well, not doing as many events in real life and physical reality, I've been able to make time to play with AR, VR, and XR, and realizing that we are in the information age and the broadcast age, being able to reach a larger audience non-physically with overlaps of actual reality and remote telepresence can really connect people in ways previously not possible. We talked about scanning and volumetric streaming, broadcast, and capture. enabling people from all over the world to interact with each other in the same space without language barriers.
Interesting. And so AR is so VR, AR, and XR. Can you explain what they are? So virtual reality, augmented reality, and what is XR?
Extended reality.
Extended. What is extended reality?
Okay, so in virtual reality, we have a reality cover all of the reality around us. We're completely isolated from actual reality in another virtual world. In augmented reality, we have a window into a virtual world overlaid upon the real world, usually with camera data. In extended reality, we take these VR and AR tools and apply them to real-time network data. So extended reality is where it's not just the content in an app, it's content in real time interconnected across the internet.
Interesting. And so, how does that experience look? Do we have actually XR experiences already available to use, or is it something that is kind of a new thing that's coming up?
There are definitely XR experiences out there to be had right now. The technology is still in its infancy, and with the new LiDAR, and I know everyone's scared of 5G, but the abilities of 5G to our ability to interface with and manifest our visions upon reality are going to be mind-blowing, I assure you.
Interesting. And okay, so are you building the XR studio here as well? Is that in an in-studio experience, or is it everywhere?
It's both.
It's
This
both.
lab is a test bed,
Yes.
and we're working with some large companies to test some ideas and experiment with what's possible, like push the boundaries and see what we can come up with. As a systems integration engineer in large broadcast and other data centers, I work with Google, Apple, like all these bleeding edge technologies has given me an ability to see patterns like the strings and the string theory and identify those waves so we can get out and start paddling.
Interesting. Yes, absolutely. So I want to dive in a little bit in the project that you are working toward to, and we've been collaborating on that project. So hopefully by the time we do ARA, we actually have a prototype. We'll see. The time will show. We are looking for sponsor for that. But anyway, the Dropship Studio. We've been lacking production in virtual experiences, and so I know that you're looking at systematizing and saying, okay, how do we actually create a studio that is a dropship box that allows you to have high quality production value while you're participating in a virtual world, because a lot of people are going to stay at home even when there's a vaccines widely spread, and some people just don't want to travel. And now that we've proved to the world that we can productively do business not traveling, I think that when we do travel for business and we won't have that need, it will be more higher kind of a quality travel. And so I do believe that the people will stay more home and the companies will opt out to something like a dropship studio for example, for an executive, right, whose job is to stay public and be able to provide different experiences, and maybe for salespeople to do a kind of a immersive presentations and meeting rooms through the holographic meetings as well. I mean, all the things that I just mentioned, these are all the tools that you have right here in your studio, and so I'm excited to show the next level of what is going to be happening. I love that we started this with an introduction, and as you watch today's talks, for our virtual speakers, you can see that the studio is evolving and evolving, and I'm excited to show those steps to our viewers for the next time, so they can actually see how it works in the project. And so, where are you on? What do you think? Do we have all the necessary tools to be able to have basically next generation production value right there from the comfort of your own home, without having to have your assistants as running all this hardware? Because the beauty of what we're doing today is not just technology, but your expertise and knowing how to put it all together, on switching the cameras and making sure that everything works. Do you think that complexity can be simplified and put together in a dropship to where we can have that?
Yes, yes, and yes. I say Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Okay. Well,
That's the beauty of volumetric data, is in a flat two-dimensional video environment, we're limited to the frame of a camera. If we surround our subject with volumetric cameras, depth sensors like your Xbox Kinect or your PS VR cameras, then we can capture the physical object in its entirety. We're not limited to a specific frame perspective. And then we can interject ourselves as our actual selves in laser precision reproduction into any virtual environment, with all of our friends and colleagues and coworkers doing exactly the same.
wow. So, I mean, I think that the companies that are going to, the first customers that are going to buy the dropship studios are going to have a huge growth, I think, of the connectivity and also of value of production. And I think that it makes sense to save money on traveling and having to take time away from your families to go get business done. But we need to have that high level touch, the simulation, because the technology needs to excel us. Right now, we're staying connected, but it's still, like you said, it's very flat. Everything is just, we're living 2D right now.
Well, it's really exciting time right now. I mean, haptic suits are a thing now. This is just the last 6 months. Volumetric capture and streaming, this is just the last 3 months. This is bleeding edge technology. But imagine you don't have to wait 8 months for a prototype. You can have your engineers send you all of the designs to your dropship studio workspace, put on your haptic gloves and feel it and interact with it before you send it to 3D print, and you get your prototype in 2 weeks instead of 8 months.
Delicious. It sounds delicious. So I just love that technology allows us to do that, and I love that while we've been sitting at home and doing a lot of work from home, I do think that allowed us for that time to be able to say, how can we turn that experience of virtual better to where we can add that touch, and for that I'm grateful. I really appreciated that is the time that allowed us to really realize that, and I'm grateful that you and your beautiful wife and a lot of people that you work with are concentrating on this high quality production value, and you bringing that immersive entertainment and immersive production into people's lives, because loneliness without creativity is not good, and isolation is not. It's not something that works, and it's okay to be home. You don't have to travel, you don't have to go places, and you still can enjoy that ability to be social with people. Some people might not be able to talk with each other in person, but if they are virtually integrating in avatar, they might be able to communicate better, and that can be for the team members between, let's say, business person and and a technical person, because maybe technical person can get into avatar and feel more comfortable presenting themselves in that role.
Well, you just touched on a really important point. One of the limitations of the VR, AR, XR landscape in business has been the avatar. being an avatar and not representing yourself as the figurehead of your vision and your multinational corporation is a separation in authority and direct communication. So by no longer being an avatar and being a full 3D representation of yourself in real time, we can connect. It's just like a mask. An avatar is like a mask. And if you can see my eyes and my expression, we can connect in ways way deeper than we could were previously limited just 3 months ago.
Absolutely. So much good. I think that this year is just really is great here. And I know last year was challenging for people, but I think that for everybody in many different ways, it was also a great year. I think life is beautiful and everything that we learned from it is great. And I appreciate your time, and I'm really looking forward to coming back to the studio again and seeing how you develop it more and have more speakers come in and talk. And I'm really excited about experiencing your production for 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day. So I'm just gonna call it, it's a love fest. It's Om Illuminatra, Om Base Illuminatra Love Fest. So, and whatever you guys call it, I think that will be a beautiful name. I know you have some names to be what is it called? Released soon coming, but to me it's a love fest, and it's just the most two beautiful things. So I'm excited to experience it, and I'm really grateful to be able to grow together. And thank you so much for moving to Austin. What a great decision you made. I mean, as the world is changing now, a lot of more people making that decision. And if you haven't moved to Austin yet, I highly encourage you to move to Austin, because our city is amazing. And we have amazing quality professionals here that come from many different industries, and innovators that are here, that are doing work, and they're doing work with the consciousness of understanding that an intention to do good, to do well for each other, and to do good and to do well for yourself is important. And so thank you for being Austinite. I feel grateful for the community that we have here. Last question. It's the 25-year question. So 25 years from now, you are standing, looking around, what do you see? And you can have it anything that you want it to be. So it doesn't matter how it looks. What do you see around you in 25 years from now?
25 years from now, I'm looking at an alien landscape, planning our terraforming and our sustainable garden.
And I love it so much, so it shall be. I support fully of that message, and together we must integrate all innovations to be able to make that a reality. And we will, and we can, maybe sooner, maybe later, but it is going to be our reality.
The production is just a telling of the stories to prepare the masses for the truth that's to come.
Well, and the training, right? So before we go into the environment, we need to be able to integrate, and we need to be able to have that like you said, the touch and the feel, and the training and the preparation and the simulation, and how does it feel to be a musician in a station, right? Like in a space station that is a settlement to new worlds, where you are going on a one-way mission, and there are a lot of people at the New Worlds and Rick Tomlinson. I know you've been a huge supporter, and
We were doing Yuri's night in LA before we moved out here too.
Yuri's night, okay, Gagarin's night. And so with all that, we need all this technology, we need ability to be able to do that simulation and in many different ways. So, and prepare people, how does it feel, and maybe even train them mentally to be able to go on those quests. And also maybe even transition some timing into experiences to where maybe going into very deep immersive experience while the machine is moving you through some rough terrain in space or whatever, I don't know, a bumpy ride, you can go into a pod and really continue being productive and continue doing things in your environment, while you're maybe not able to, have so much space for moving your body around and all that. So, so much to come. Thank you so much. Looking forward to our next speakers coming out here, and I'm really excited to see what you have described looks like in reality, because we do need it. I do want it, and I know the world needs it, and the world wants it, and then the companies, and for the better productivity of the business, for global opportunities, I think we must have these experiences. So thank you, John, and I'm sure we'll talk more.
Thank you.
Yay! Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
That was great.
Okay, do you want to do the,
Hard drive transfers?
yeah,
I mean, it's all on this hard drive here. Do you have a Mac formatted hard drive?
I don't know.
Um,
I have one that I plug into here.
Yeah. Let me see how much data we've got.
Or do you want me to just, but how does it work? Do you wanna, like, when are you downtown next time?
That's a good question. I have to figure that out.
Because maybe you could, like, come by, or I don't know. Or, like, do I need to have, like, a separate hard drive, or should
Let
we
me see
use?
how much data this is.
Okay.
13 gigs. Not that much.
It's not that, oh, nice, really? Awesome, yeah. So should I give you my boxy?
Yeah, we'll try that. If not, then I can put it on thumb drive.
Okay.
'Cause,
Oh, like what's a thumb drive? It's a plug-in thinner, and you have one that can.
it should have enough
Really?
space, but down to
Okay.
like 400.
That